When a man is emotionally present with you, you feel it before you ever analyze it. You notice it in the way he looks at you when you speak, not scanning his phone, not drifting away, but grounded in the moment with you. Emotional presence means he is not just physically there, he is mentally and emotionally engaged. He is listening to understand, not listening to reply. And this matters because attention is the most honest currency a human being has. A man can give gifts, words, and promises without meaning them, but he cannot fake sustained attention without genuine interest. Attention requires energy, and people only invest energy where value exists. When you are truly special to a man, his presence feels calm, not rushed. You don't feel like you have to compete with distractions, other people, or his past. You don't feel like you are interrupting his life. Instead, you feel invited into it. Emotional presence shows up when he remembers what you said days ago, not because he wrote it down, but because it mattered to him. It shows up when he asks follow-up questions, when he circles back to things you shared, when he notices changes in your mood without you explaining yourself. This level of awareness is not accidental. It is intentional, and intention is always connected to value. Many women mistake emotional distance for mystery or masculinity, but distance is not depth. Silence is not strength. A man who cares deeply does not disappear emotionally. He does not leave you guessing how he feels or where you stand. Emotional presence creates safety. It allows you to relax, to be yourself, to speak without editing every word. When a man is present, you don't feel the need to perform, impress, or prove your worth. You simply exist, and that is enough. That feeling is not created by charm or chemistry. It is created by consistency and care. Emotional presence also means he can sit with discomfort. When conversations get real, when emotions rise, when vulnerability enters the room, he does not shut down or escape. He stays. He listens even when it's not easy. He doesn't invalidate your feelings or minimize your experiences. He may not always have the perfect response, but he is willing to be there with you in the moment. This willingness is powerful because it shows maturity. A man who values you does not fear your emotions. He respects them. You must understand this deeply. People make time and emotional space for what matters to them. When a man is emotionally present, it is because he wants to be. Not because you chased him, not because you demanded it, but because something about you makes him lean in rather than pull away. Presence is not forced, it is offered. And when it is offered freely, it is one of the clearest signs that you are not just another option. Emotional presence also means he is curious about your inner world. He doesn't just know what you do, he wants to know how you feel. He doesn't only talk about surface level topics, he is interested in your thoughts, your fears, your dreams, your values. He wants to understand how you see the world. This curiosity is intimacy. It is a desire to connect beyond attraction. A man who is emotionally present is building a bridge between his world and yours, piece by piece, conversation by conversation. When emotional presence is real, communication feels balanced. You are not carrying the emotional labor alone. You are not the only one asking questions, initiating conversations, or expressing care. There is reciprocity. You feel met. You feel matched. And this balance is important because when one person is always reaching and the other is always retreating, it creates anxiety, not love. Emotional presence creates harmony, not tension. It is also important to recognize what emotional presence is not. It is not constant texting, oversharing, or emotional dependence. True presence does not overwhelm, it steadies. It does not cling, it connects. A man can be emotionally present without being emotionally needy. In fact, presence often feels grounded, secure, and reassuring. It feels like someone choosing to be there, not someone afraid to leave. If you have ever found yourself questioning whether you matter, whether you are seen, or whether you are truly special, look at presence, not promises. Look at attention, not attraction. Look at how he shows up when there is nothing to gain and no audience watching. Emotional presence is not loud, but it is unmistakable. It speaks through actions, consistency, and care. And here is the truth you must hold on to. If you have to beg for attention, chase presence, or explain why you deserve to be heard, you are not being valued in the way you deserve. The right man will not make you feel invisible. He will make you feel chosen in the quiet moments, in the ordinary conversations, and in the way he stays emotionally connected even when life gets busy. Emotional presence is the first proof of genuine value because attention never lies. When a man prioritizes you through his actions, you don't have to question your place in his life. You feel it in the consistency of how he shows up, not in grand gestures, but in the steady, reliable ways he includes you. Priority is not about being number one every second. It is about not being optional. It is about knowing that when choices are made, your presence, your time, and your feelings are considered without you having to ask. This kind of priority is quiet, but it is powerful. A man who sees you as truly special does not fit you into the cracks of his schedule. He does not only reach out when he is bored, lonely, or has nothing better to do. Instead, he makes room. He plans ahead. He follows through. If he says he will call, he calls. If he says he will see you, he shows up. Consistency is not romance, it is respect. And respect is the foundation of real attraction. Anyone can say the right words, but consistency requires discipline, intention, and genuine care. You must understand that effort is never accidental. When a man prioritizes you, it is because he wants to, not because he is forced to. He does not make excuses about being too busy when something matters. Everyone is busy. Life is full. Time is limited. Yet people always find time for what they value. When you are a priority, you don't feel like you are competing with his work, his friends, or his distractions. You feel integrated into his life, not placed on hold. Prioritization also shows up in emotional consistency. His energy does not disappear without explanation. He does not go hot and cold, intense one week and distant the next. Emotional inconsistency creates confusion, not desire. A man who values you understands that stability builds trust. He does not leave you guessing where you stand. Even when things are not perfect, he communicates. He does not vanish. He does not punish you with silence. He understands that clarity is kindness. When you are a priority, your needs are not treated as inconveniences. You don't feel guilty for expressing how you feel. You don't feel like you are asking for too much when you ask for basic respect. A man who prioritizes you listens when something matters to you, even if it doesn't come naturally to him. He may not always get it right, but he tries. And effort is the language of care. Effort says you matter enough for me to adjust, to grow, to show up better. There is a deep difference between being liked and being chosen. Being liked feels good in the moment. Being chosen feels secure over time. A man who prioritizes you chooses you repeatedly, not just when it is easy or exciting, but when it requires commitment. He doesn't keep you in a state of uncertainty. He doesn't treat you like an option while waiting for something better. He invests because investment follows value. You should also notice how he protects the connection. When you are a priority, he is mindful of his behavior. He does not flirt carelessly with others in front of you. He does not do things that undermine trust. He considers how his actions affect you. This awareness is not control, it is consideration. It shows emotional maturity and intention. He understands that what he has with you is worth protecting, not risking. Many people confuse attraction with chaos, thinking that unpredictability keeps things exciting. But chaos exhausts the heart. Consistency calms it. When a man prioritizes you, the connection feels steady, not dramatic. You feel grounded, not anxious. You are not constantly analyzing messages, timing, or tone. You are not trying to decode mixed signals. Clear effort creates emotional safety, and emotional safety allows love to grow. It is important to say this clearly. You do not need to earn priority by overgiving, sacrificing yourself, or proving your worth. The right man will not require you to shrink or struggle to be chosen. Priority is not a reward for endurance. It is a reflection of how someone sees you. If you are always the one adjusting, waiting, and understanding, while he remains inconsistent, that is not priority, that is imbalance. When a man truly values you, he aligns his behavior with his words. He does not sell you a future he never intends to build. He does not keep you emotionally invested while staying personally detached. His actions move in the same direction as his intentions. And this alignment is rare but unmistakable. It feels honest. It feels secure. It feels like you are standing on solid ground instead of shifting sand. If you ever doubt your importance in someone's life, look at patterns, not promises. Look at consistency, not intensity. Look at whether you feel included, considered, and respected over time. Because when you are truly special to a man, you are not an afterthought. You are a priority shown not in words, but in the steady way he chooses you again and again. When a man is serious about you, he doesn't keep you separate from his real life. He doesn't treat you like a private escape or a temporary experience. He integrates you. Integration is one of the clearest signs that you are truly special to him because it requires vulnerability, intention, and courage. It means he is no longer protecting his independence from you. He is opening his world to include you. You feel this when he naturally brings you into his everyday life. You meet his friends not as an afterthought, but as someone he is proud to introduce. You become part of his conversations, his routines, his plans. You are not hidden, compartmentalized, or kept on the sidelines. A man who values you does not live a double life where you only exist in certain moments. He wants the people who matter to him to know you because your presence matters to him. Integration also shows up in how he talks about the future, not in dramatic promises or exaggerated timelines, but in subtle language that includes you. He says things like, "We should go there someday," or "next time we do this," or "imagine us in that situation." These words may seem small, but they reveal something powerful. He is mentally placing you in his future. He is not just enjoying you in the present. He is imagining continuity, and imagination is the first step toward commitment. When a man is emotionally invested, he does not avoid future-oriented conversations. He may not have every answer, but he does not shut down when the topic arises. He doesn't change the subject or make you feel uncomfortable for thinking ahead. He listens. He engages. He considers. This openness shows that he is not afraid of the connection growing. Fear of the future often means someone is unsure about your place in it. Being integrated also means he considers your needs when making decisions. He doesn't make major choices that affect you without thinking about how they will impact the relationship. He doesn't disappear into plans that leave you feeling excluded or unimportant. Even when he maintains his independence, you feel considered, and consideration is a form of love. It says, "You matter enough for me to think beyond myself." A man who sees you as special also allows you to see his imperfect sides. Integration is not just about meeting friends or family. It is about emotional inclusion. He lets you see his stress, his doubts, his vulnerabilities. He doesn't perform strength all the time. He trusts you with parts of himself that are not polished. This trust is intimacy. It means he feels safe with you, and safety is not created lightly. You must pay attention to whether a man is moving toward you or keeping you at a distance. Some people enjoy connection but resist integration. They like the benefits of closeness without the responsibility of inclusion. This often feels confusing because the chemistry may be strong, but the progress feels stalled. If someone avoids integrating you into their life, it is usually because they are unsure about keeping you there long term. When you are truly special, you don't have to push your way into his world. You don't have to demand to meet people or ask where things are going. The movement happens naturally. It feels organic, not forced. He wants to share experiences with you, not just moments. He wants you to understand his world because he wants you to be part of it. Integration also means he respects your life and wants to understand it. He doesn't try to replace your world, he appreciates it. He takes interest in what matters to you, your work, your passions, your relationships. He supports your growth instead of feeling threatened by it. This mutual respect creates balance. You are not absorbing into each other, you are expanding together. It is important to say this clearly. Integration does not mean losing yourself. It does not mean sacrificing your boundaries or independence. In fact, healthy integration only happens when both people remain whole. A man who values you does not want you to disappear into his life. He wants you to bring your fullness into it. He is drawn to who you are, not who you can become for him. If you ever find yourself stuck in a connection where you are emotionally involved but not integrated, pause and reflect. Ask yourself whether you are being included or merely entertained. Being special feels grounding. It feels like progress. It feels like being woven into someone's life rather than kept on the edge of it. When a man integrates you, he is sending a clear message without saying it out loud. He is saying, you belong here. You are not temporary. You are not replaceable. You are someone I am building with, even if the structure is still taking shape. And that quiet, steady inclusion is one of the strongest signs that you are truly special to him. When a man is emotionally invested in you, his care goes beyond attraction and convenience. You feel it in the way he responds to your emotions, not with impatience or avoidance, but with genuine concern. Emotional investment means your feelings matter to him, not just when they are easy or pleasant, but also when they are complicated, vulnerable, or uncomfortable. He doesn't dismiss what you feel, he doesn't minimize it, and he doesn't make you feel dramatic for having emotions. Instead, he tries to understand because understanding you has value to him. A man who is emotionally invested does not run from depth. He doesn't keep everything light to avoid connection. He allows conversations to move past surface, level topics into areas that reveal who you truly are. He asks questions that show curiosity, not interrogation. He wants to know what shaped you, what scares you, what excites you, and what hurts you. This is not about collecting information. It is about building closeness. Emotional investment is the willingness to let someone matter enough to affect you. You will notice this investment when he cares about how his actions impact you. He is not careless with your heart. He doesn't say things just to provoke a reaction or protect his ego. When he makes a mistake, he doesn't deflect or blame you for feeling hurt. He reflects. He listens. He takes responsibility. Accountability is one of the strongest signs of emotional maturity, and maturity is essential for real love. A man who is invested doesn't need to be perfect, but he is willing to grow. Emotional investment also shows up in protection, not control, but care. He wants you to feel safe emotionally and mentally. He does not put you in situations that make you feel insecure or disrespected. He doesn't play games to test your feelings or manipulate your attachment. Instead, he creates an environment where trust can develop naturally. You don't feel like you have to guard your heart constantly because his behavior feels predictable in the best way. When a man is emotionally invested, he shows empathy. He doesn't try to fix everything immediately or dismiss pain with logic. Sometimes he simply listens. He sits with you in your feelings without trying to escape them. This presence communicates something powerful. It says you don't have to go through this alone. Emotional safety is built in moments like these, where you feel seen instead of rushed, heard instead of corrected. You may also notice that he celebrates your happiness as if it were his own. Your wins matter to him. Your joy excites him. He doesn't feel threatened by your success or independence. Instead, he supports it. Emotional investment is not possessive, it is appreciative. He wants you to thrive, not shrink to fit his comfort. A man who is invested doesn't compete with you, he stands beside you. Another important sign of emotional investment is effort during difficult moments. When conflict arises, he doesn't disappear. He doesn't shut down communication or use silence as punishment. He understands that disagreements are part of connection, not a reason to abandon it. He may need time to process, but he comes back. He wants resolution, not distance. This willingness to work through discomfort shows that the relationship matters more than his pride. It is important to recognize that emotional investment cannot be forced. You cannot convince someone to care deeply by loving harder, giving more, or tolerating less. Emotional investment comes from choice. It grows when a man feels aligned with you, respects you, and sees long-term value in the connection. If you find yourself constantly explaining your feelings or begging for understanding, that is not investment, that is imbalance. When emotional investment is real, you feel secure enough to be yourself. You don't feel like you are walking on eggshells or constantly monitoring your words. You don't feel like your emotions are too much. You feel accepted even in moments when you are not at your best. This acceptance creates intimacy because intimacy is not built on perfection, it is built on honesty. You must remember this. Someone who is truly invested will not make you feel alone inside the relationship. Loneliness does not come from being single, it comes from being emotionally unseen. A man who values you will make space for your emotions, not avoid them. He will care about your inner world, not just your presence in his life. If you ever wonder whether you are truly special to someone, look at how they respond when you are vulnerable. Look at whether they lean in or pull away. Emotional investment is revealed in moments where there is nothing to gain except deeper connection. And when a man chooses that connection consistently and sincerely, it is because you matter to him in a way that goes far beyond surface attraction. When a man is truly serious about you, commitment shows itself through clarity and action, not confusion and delay. You don't feel like you are standing in a waiting room, hoping he will decide what you are to him. You don't feel like your role in his life is undefined or constantly shifting. Instead, there is a sense of direction. You know where you stand because his behavior makes it clear. Commitment is not about pressure or labels. It is about alignment between what he says, what he does, and how he treats you over time. A committed man does not keep you guessing. He does not leave important questions unanswered while enjoying the benefits of your presence. He understands that uncertainty creates anxiety, and he does not want to place you in a position where you are emotionally invested without security. Even if he is moving slowly, he is transparent about his intentions. Transparency is a form of respect. It says, I value you enough to be honest with you, even when the truth requires responsibility. Commitment shows up in follow-through. When he makes plans, they happen. When he makes promises, they are kept. When he talks about building something, his actions move in that direction. Words without action create hope, but action creates trust. A man who is committed understands that trust is fragile and earned through consistency. He doesn't overpromise to impress you. He underpromises and overdelivers because reliability matters more to him than image. You will also notice that commitment changes how he handles temptation and distraction. He is not constantly scanning for alternatives or keeping backup options. He is focused. This focus does not feel controlling or restrictive. It feels intentional. He chooses you not because he has no other options, but because he doesn't want them. Choice is powerful when it is voluntary. Commitment is the daily decision to invest in one connection rather than chase endless possibilities. A committed man also includes you in decisions that affect the relationship. He doesn't make choices that impact both of you without conversation. He considers your feelings, your schedule, your needs. This consideration reflects partnership. It shows that he no longer thinks only in terms of I, but in terms of we. Even small decisions become shared experiences, and shared experiences strengthen bonds. Commitment also reveals itself during challenges. When things become difficult, he does not retreat into silence or distance. He does not treat problems as signs to leave, but as opportunities to understand each other better. He is willing to have uncomfortable conversations rather than avoid them. This willingness is rare because it requires emotional strength. A man who is committed does not run when effort is required. He stays because what you have together matters more than his discomfort. It is important to understand that commitment does not mean perfection. A committed man will still make mistakes. He will still have flaws. The difference is how he responds when those flaws surface. He takes responsibility. He apologizes without excuses. He learns. Growth is one of the clearest indicators of commitment because people only grow where they see long-term value. If someone is unwilling to change patterns that hurt you, it often means they are not invested in keeping you. You should never feel like you have to convince someone to commit to you. Commitment that is forced is unstable. Real commitment comes from internal clarity, not external pressure. If you find yourself negotiating for basic reassurance or clarity, pause. Ask yourself whether you are being valued or merely tolerated. The right man will not make you fight for certainty. He will offer it through his behavior. A committed man does not keep one foot out the door. He does not treat the relationship as temporary while benefiting from its depth. He understands that emotional intimacy requires courage, and he is willing to take that risk. Commitment is not about controlling the future. It is about showing up fully in the present with integrity. It is about being emotionally available, consistent, and accountable. You will feel commitment in the way your nervous system relaxes around him. You are not constantly analyzing his tone, his timing, or his interest level. You are not wondering if you are asking for too much. You feel secure enough to be yourself because his actions reassure you without needing constant validation. This sense of calm is not boring, it is healthy. Love that is real feels grounding, not destabilizing. If someone truly sees you as special, they will not keep you in emotional limbo. They will not leave you guessing about their intentions while enjoying your affection. They will step forward with clarity, even if it feels vulnerable. Commitment is not just about choosing a relationship. It is about choosing responsibility for someone's heart. Always remember this. When a man is committed, you don't need to chase certainty because certainty comes to you. You don't need to decode signals because the message is clear. His actions speak in a steady, consistent voice that says, I am here, I am choosing you, and I am not afraid to build something real. When a man truly values you, his respect for your boundaries becomes unmistakable. You do not feel pressure to move faster than you are comfortable with, emotionally or physically. You do not feel guilty for saying no, for asking for space, or for expressing what you need. Instead, you feel heard. Boundaries are not obstacles to the right person, they are guides. A man who sees you as special does not try to push past them, he wants to understand them. Because understanding you matters to him. Respect for boundaries begins with listening. He pays attention when you express discomfort, hesitation, or limits, even when those limits are inconvenient for him. He does not argue with your feelings or try to convince you that you are overreacting. He does not make jokes to minimize what you are saying. He takes you seriously. This seriousness is a form of care. It shows that he values your emotional safety more than his immediate desires. When a man respects your boundaries, he does not test them to see how much he can get away with. He does not push a little further each time to see if you will give in. He understands that trust is built when words and actions align. If you say something matters to you, he remembers it. If you ask for time, he gives it. If you express a need, he does not dismiss it as weakness. Respect is not loud, but it is consistent. You may notice that with this kind of respect, you feel more open, not more closed. Healthy boundaries do not create distance, they create safety. When you feel safe, you are more willing to be vulnerable. You are more willing to share your thoughts, your fears, and your desires. A man who honors your boundaries understands this. He knows that intimacy cannot be forced, it can only be invited. And invitation requires patience. Respect for boundaries also shows emotional maturity. It means he is comfortable with delayed gratification. He does not need everything immediately to feel secure. He trusts the process of connection. This patience is powerful because it shows confidence. A man who is confident in his value does not rush you. He does not fear losing you because you set a limit. He understands that mutual respect strengthens attraction rather than weakens it. When boundaries are respected, communication feels clear. You do not have to repeat yourself constantly or defend your needs. You are not afraid to speak up because you know your voice will not be ignored or punished. This creates balance. You are not shrinking to keep the peace, and you are not over-explaining to be understood. You are simply expressing yourself, and that expression is received with care. It is important to recognize that disrespect for boundaries often hides behind charm or intensity. Someone may say they care deeply, but ignore your limits when it suits them. That is not love, that is entitlement. A man who truly values you does not see your boundaries as challenges to overcome. He sees them as part of who you are, and he respects who you are, not who he wants you to become. Respect also shows up in how he handles your independence. He does not try to control your time, your friendships, or your choices. He does not make you feel guilty for having a life outside of him. Instead, he supports your individuality. He understands that a healthy relationship is made of two whole people, not one person absorbing the other. This respect allows love to breathe. When a man honors your boundaries, he also sets his own in a healthy way. He communicates his needs honestly instead of expecting you to read his mind. This mutual clarity prevents resentment. It creates a dynamic where both people feel responsible for the health of the connection. Boundaries, when respected on both sides, create stability, not distance. You must remember this. Someone who truly sees your value will never ask you to betray yourself to keep them. They will not require you to silence your intuition, lower your standards, or ignore your discomfort. The right man wants you aligned with yourself because he knows that self-respect is the foundation of real connection. If you ever feel anxious about setting a boundary because you fear losing someone, pause and reflect. The person who is right for you will not leave because you respected yourself. In fact, they will respect you more. Boundaries filter out those who are not capable of healthy love and reveal those who are. When a man respects your boundaries, he is showing you something deeper than attraction. He is showing you honor. And honor is rare. It is steady. It is quiet. It is revealed in moments where he could push but chooses not to. Where he could prioritize himself but chooses to consider you. That choice, repeated over time, is one of the clearest signs that you are not just special to